and a very, very warm welcome to you. If you've not joined me before, my name is Anne-Marie. If you have joined me before, it's fantastic to have you back. If you've not, great. I hope you enjoy the next hour we're going to spend together. Hopefully I'm in the right direction today. I'm not planning on doing upside down Pilates, so I do have husband on call, just checking that we're in the right direction today. Oops. Never mind. Hope for a fantastic week though. So just to give you a minute to set yourselves up, all your equipment. All we're going to use tonight is our mat and something like a head cushion or whatever cushion you've got lying around off the sofa or a pillow, anything like that. Otherwise we don't need anything, nice and easy tonight. So let's just start just having a few breaths just to calm ourselves down. So if you like to, you can join in with me when you're ready. Let's go. In, 2, 3, 4 and hold. 2, 3, 4 and out. 2, 3, 4, hold. 2, 3 and breathe in. 2, 3, 4 and hold. 2, 3, 4, breathe out. 2, 3, 4 and hold. 2, 3, 4 and in. 2, 3, 4 and hold. 2, 3, 4, breathe out. 2, 3, 4 and hold. 2. Last one here. In. Hold. And out. And hold. Awesome. I hope you're all set up now. As always, it's all the same safety stuff. Take a drink whenever you need one. If anything that I'm suggesting you do is uncomfortable, painful, twingy, please don't do it. Please keep safe. Please make this session work really well for you and working at your level. You know, stretching yourself and making things a little bit hard so that you're always improving, but nothing that's going to make you sore, twingy, unhappy tomorrow, okay? Wonderful. Well, let's start with our alignment as we always do. So starting with the feet directly underneath the hips. As I look down, I see I've got my fluorescent tube legs out today, so it's rather exciting. A bit of spare lighting for you. It's all good. Just rolling the weight forwards and backwards. So coming up onto your toes, stretching out all between those bones of the feet, allowing the muscles to stretch, the fascia to stretch, so all those connective tissues as well. And just giving yourself a little bit of movement, a little bit of motion into the ankle, into the toes, but just allowing it to release. Okay, and letting that come to settle, so the feet are directly underneath the hips, and then we're just going to roll out and in. Lovely. Okay, letting that come to settle in the middle. So the feet directly underneath those pointy bits, the front of the hips, moving up through the legs, the knees just nice and soft, don't need to lock out there. Coming up all the way to the pelvis. Let's imagine that bowl of water inside the pelvis. So we're just going to rock under and over. Getting that movement into the lower part of the spine. Just tilting and extending and tilting. Brilliant. So the water is freely flowing forwards and backwards, and it's controlled. And it's smooth and it's comfy, and it's just releasing any tension into the lower part of the back. Okay, letting that come to settle here. So you've got a small arch into the lower back, drawing up all the way through the spine. So the tailbone gently eases down, the top of the head gently pulling up. So imagine like a rope, you are stretching, stretching, stretching along that beautiful long spine with neutral curves. The ribs directly over the hips, and the shoulders, bring them forwards, up, back, and ease them down your back. So you're pushing those shoulder blades down towards the back pockets. It will gently open up through the front of your chest, maybe the hands pointing towards me, and opening up, just really relaxing, feeling long, feeling strong, feeling stretched. Wonderful. And hopefully from here, head is up, chin is up, we are looking good. Fantastic. Let's do some nice full and wide thoracic breathing. So breathing through into the rib cage for me. As you breathe in, take a nice full and wide breath in. Feel those fingertips ease apart and back together. You might like to try just seeing if you get the same sensation in the back of your ribs as well. It's the whole rib cage expanding. So you should still feel that sensation of opening and closing through the ribs, like those bellows, drawing in and releasing back down. Really nice and comfortably. That's one. Okay, now we're going to focus on our core contraction. So our core contraction tonight, imagine that elevator inside your body. So you've got 10 floors, you're drawing that pelvic floor up inside the body, 10 floors on your lift. When you're ready, your next full and wide breath in, breathe in and draw up, and that is all the way to the top. So you're really getting tension all in this lower part of the tummy below, kind of tummy button down is all tensing up inside that crease in the legs. It's all quite hard to hold actually and release. You're not going to hold that for too long. Not if you've really got it drawn in. Okay, from here we're going to try again, breathing in to that 5th floor. So it is tight, you can feel the sensation, you can feel that tightening up, but it is breathable through. You can work through this, you can hold it for a period and release. And when you're ready on the next full and wide breath in, breathe in, and just take it to that 3rd lift. So 3rd floor on your lift, that gentle lifting up inside, drawing up of the pelvic floor inside the body. Fantastic. Okay, and we are good. This is where we're going to start from. So we start from a wonderful neutral position. And tonight we're going to start, we're just going to take one arm up, turn the palm away, look away from the arm, and sweep the arm down. We're going to switch sides. So it's arm up, turn the palm away, look away, and arm switch sides. And I have to say, my daughter did make me laugh today when she saw me practicing this. As soon as she said, "What, mummy, what does it mean, arm up and look away? Is that so you can check your armpits aren't stinky?" I was like, "Oh no, that's not really the point, darling. But I like her style, so maybe one day there'll be a future Pilates teacher for you there. So you don't have to check your armpits, you can if you wish, but you're looking away, so you can't really. Sweep it down, sweep it down. These are the conversations that I get to have with my wonderful children while I'm preparing these classes at home." All good, isn't it? It's all good. So sweeping away, arm up, turn the palm away and sweep it down. Lovely. So you should be feeling a really nice, smooth movement through that shoulder. Still keeping the shoulder blade inch down the back. Okay. So it's not that the shoulder is hunching up like so. Draw it down, draw it down. But you're getting some movement as well. To open the front of the shoulder, opening out the chest as you're going. Lovely, and release that here. We're going to take the feet just slightly wider. We're going to do that screw in the light bulb that we sometimes do. So this move, you're leading with the little fingers. You start palm forwards in front of kind of maybe just in front of your rib cage or so. Twisting so the palm goes back, and then if you can, getting it up to point towards the ceiling and drawing it back. So palm forward, down, back, and up, and it's that twisting as though you're screwing a light bulb into the top corner of the room, and as you go allow the body to twist with you. So you're allowing the hips to move, you're allowing the feet to come gently off the floor, so you're coming kind of up onto your toes, alternating sides, twisting, getting a nice stretch all the way from the fingertip down the arm, down the side, down the leg. It's a wonderful kind of long whole body stretching move. Lovely. And you're sweeping up, it's smooth, it's controlled, you're really reaching. Fantastic. And next time we get up there, let's leave it there. So hold it up, leave it there, leave it there, leave it there. So let the gaze drop down, gradually let that heel drop down towards the floor, the arm is on, and you've got this lovely stretch, and you can breathe into the outside, this outside part of the rib cage. Really feel that lung opening as we're holding that position. A little bit of a stretch down the calf as well, a whole half body stretch all the way down that side. And release. And actually, if you held that quite kind of long and strong, you might be feeling that in the shoulder and down the side of the body, just a little bit like it was hard work. So give it a little shake out, just give it a little shake. Okay, get the movement back in. Wonderful. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So again, feet nicely apart, you know, wider than the hips, wider than they normally be. And again, palm forward, palm down, palm back, palm up. So it's that screwing action, little finger going up towards the top corner. Sweeping it round. And as you go, again, the leg The foot is coming away from the floor, the legs getting a nice old stretch, you're twisting through the spine, twisting through the shoulder, getting a nice rotation. Lovely. And it's quite a nice flowing, dynamic movement, dynamic stretch, but it's not particularly bouncy, it's not going to do any damage, it's just a nice flowing movement. Fantastic. Okay. Let's hold this one up here. Hold it here, hold it here. Let the gaze drop down and let the heel slowly drop down. Again, we can think about breathing into this outside part of the ribs. But just relaxing through the body. We've got this lovely long side movement. You're just relaxing the rest of the body. Fantastic. And let that drop down. Give it a little shake. Lovely. Right, from here we're going to do some arcing. Oh, arcing, I do like this. I always like to show this one side on because I think it makes more sense. But you're starting back, feet directly under the hips again. So you're starting in a neutral position, shoulders back and down. And from here, we're going to start just with a chin tilt, slump the shoulders. So just kind of the upper part of the spine, the head, is just slumped down. I mean, think of your inner teenager. Okay, this is where we're going with this. Knees are soft, you're slumping down. Maybe you're a teenager with fantastic posture. That was very judgy, wasn't it? Oh, goodness me. Probably not PC at the moment, is it? Right. And from here, we're going to stand up tall, open up the chest, looking up. So stretching the front of the chest, looking up, and breathing in here. And we're going between those two positions. So you breathe out to slump, breathe in to come up, breathe out to slump, and in to come up. And it doesn't need to be kind of quite so dramatic, a drop down. You're going between those two, and if you want to, as you come up, you can come up, bring the body weight gently forwards, come up onto the toes, and bringing the body weight backwards into the heels at the front of the kind of slumping action. Okay. Right. Okay, and from here, coming back through to neutral, we will do a little bit of rolling down, rolling up, so just extending that arcing move. So when you're ready, tilt the chin, and just start to peel the spine down. Not going too far, maybe halfway. Just halfway and peeling it back up. Coming back to neutral, nice long, tall move. And you're kind of gradually working down through the spine. So it's like a cartwheel. Almost imagine how you would roll a cartwheel, how one piece at a time hits the floor or hits the back of the wall. So if I was standing against the wall, you can imagine gradually it's more and more of the spine in a smooth, controlled movement that's going to be getting towards the wall. And making this move a little bit deeper, maybe going down to 3/4 of your normal range of movement. Wherever that may be, you can choose to keep the legs reasonably straight, or you can choose, if it gets all a bit tight in the hamstrings, feel free to kind of give yourself a little bit of a bend at the knee, that's fine as well. And here we go, getting down pretty much towards the bottom of your movement. So getting down, if you normally manage to touch the floor, that's fantastic. Otherwise, whatever you do normally touch, it's all good. And just take it one more, last one. So peeling down. Oh, and let the head hang heavy. Just hold it there for 1 or 2 breaths. Still keeping that core control, and then coming back up for me. Lovely, so we're replacing those vertebrae one by one. From here we're going to do some side flexion. So back in that neutral position, let's start by warming up the neck as we go. So let the ear drop towards the shoulder. Opposite fingers reach down and away. So you've got to stretch down the side. If you want to, you can use the hand to gently ease the head slightly close towards the shoulder. Just gently though. Just be gentle with your neck. And release, take it over to the other side. Start with the ear coming towards the shoulder. See how that feels? If you want to, you can reach down with the opposite fingertips. Maybe you're starting to kind of get a nice stretch into that muscle if that's not kicked in already. And if you wish to, you can just again use the fingertips just to ease it to the side. to neutral. I'm going to slowly go side to side and build up the size of that movement. So I'm going to let the shoulders tip as I go, allowing more and more of the spine to get involved into this side flexion. It's slow, it's gradual, there's no rush. It's just all nice and relaxed. And you might find as you go slightly further over, maybe the opposite elbow is coming up just to compensate a little bit. It might be natural for you. And see if you can get your fingertips down, maybe towards the level of your knees or so. And as you get further down, if you wish to, as well as allowing the elbow to come up, you might want to let the arm go up and over. And take it to the other side, elbow up and over. Really feel that's a beautiful stretch down the side, isn't it? Gosh, that's really nice. Only if it's comfy as always. Really feeling that one. Oh my goodness, that's nice. Do this one more often. Lovely, last one. Oh, just the job, just the job. Okay, we're going to warm up the hips now. Take the feet a little bit wider again. Just going to imagine that big hula hoop around the waist. We are pushing very slowly and gradually all the way around the body. So seeing how far you can get your hips forward, side, side and back. And it's a smooth movement. If you find that you have an area where it gets a little bit jerky for some reason, maybe there's some discomfort in your hips or your lower spine, if you want to, you can just kind of go back and forth. If there's a particular region that doesn't quite feel as comfy as you might like, if it feels good, you can just back and forth over that. And change directions for me. It's the same thing, other way. Wonderful. Release that there. We're just going to finish our mobility with some low kicks. So we're working to warm up the knee, warm up the ankle, some low kicks in front, a little bit of balance, sneak it in, that's what we like, sneaky. Okay, and as we go, next time just hold and see if you can point and flex. So point and flex. So again, making sure the ankles are nice and warm. And this time, try some rolling of the ankles at the front. So just drawing circles with the toes in the other direction. This doesn't count as your balance, by the way, isn't it? It's an extra. Lovely. We'll do it one more time each side. And the standing knee remains quite nice and soft. Go in both directions with those circles. It's just getting those ankles really nice and warm. Okay, release it there. How are we feeling? Hopefully feeling great. Wonderful. This is our balance. We've made it. Hooray! Okay, we're going to do some tree pose again tonight. So, knees nice and soft. Getting our neutral position to start with. Get that core engaged. And we'll build up the tree pose as we usually do. By just starting, you might want to keep your toe down. Okay, so aiming to keep the hips pointing forwards. We're just rotating through one side. So the knee is going out as far as is comfortable. Trying to keep those hips forward though, so resist the temptation to go into a twist, because we want to keep this leg really nice and stable. So the standing leg nice and stable. Now if this is feeling fine, you'd like to, this is where you can start to play around with the height at which you'd like the moving leg to be at. So maybe it feels good at your shin. Maybe you want to go a bit higher. If you're getting towards the knee, don't press into the knee with your foot. So if you are here, my foot actually barely touching my knee. It's really no pressure at all. I don't want any side pressure into that knee, okay? So you can have it there, or you can have it a bit higher. This is the bit where I always get to be stuck, actually. There we go. Or you can keep it, take it back down. Now you've got some options with your arms. Would you like to try with your arms wide? Maybe with them high. Maybe you can keep them on the waist, on the hips. Maybe you're grabbing on for dear life to something, that's also a good thing. Okay, safety first. Whatever you need. As long as it's stationary. Oh my goodness, oh I lost it. Lost it. No good. Look at something stationary. Don't look at me, don't look at moving. Right, and we're going to hold it out this time. So choose the height of your leg. You're going to keep your knee out. Sit down here. So on your shin, a bit higher. I would advise now not to go near the knee, so I'm going to try and keep it high. As always, I'm probably going to have to hang on for dear life with my other hand to hold that leg position. And choose where you'd like your arm. Do you want to try it wide? A bit harder to try it high because you're kind of taking the centre of gravity a little bit higher. And you haven't got the opportunity to kind of waft it around to stop yourself falling over. Wonderful. I can really feel that movement in the standing foot. The knee is nice and soft, but the ankle is working so hard. It's fantastic. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lovely, reset. Okay, there we go. Nice. Oh my goodness. Oh, I can feel it. It's all good. It's all good. Right, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So get your balance. Get your body weight nice and neutral, hips nice and level, pointing forwards. And we'll start at the bottom again, just to get our eye in early, okay? So keeping those hips pointing forwards. So you're squeezing out part of the thigh. You've got your kind of gluteus minimus working. You're working to pull it round. Those abductor muscles. You've got loads of muscles working around the outside of your thigh. Just into your glutes to make this movement work. Okay. Wow. Already losing it today. You must look at something stationary. Okay. This is definitely not my good side. My goodness. You will probably have a good side and a bad side. Okay, if you want to try taking it higher again, look about with your arms, have a play. Depends how much space you've got as well. If you've got plenty of space, this all works very nicely. If you touch your arms out like this and you're hitting furniture or people or walls, obviously that's not as easy. Or if you put your arms up and you're touching the ceiling, which is never a problem I have, to be absolutely honest. But I do know some of you, it might well be. So do what you can with the space you've got. Maybe you get cactus arms, maybe that's an alternative. Bit of an in-betweener. Or maybe you could have a diamond above your head, not quite as high. Lovely. I'll keep them low. Ooh. Okay, right, we're going to hold it. Are you ready? Get in position, get in position. I'm going to bring my foot up again. I'm going to try not to wobble. Okay. Hold that position. So the hips still pointing forwards if you can. Opening out through the hip. Keeping that balance. Knee is still soft, core still engaged. Still breathing. Don't go blue. Don't do it. No. Okay, you ready? 5, 4, 3. Oh, I'm gonna make it 2, 1. Hey! Awesome! I thought I was gonna have to grab onto one of the bars or something then. Very good. Right, this next one. It's a bit of balance, but also a bit of strength. So I'm going to build it up and let you choose how you want it to look in the end. I'll move this cushion so I don't end up kicking it. It's one of our lunging balances. So I'm going to start with an easier version. So kind of the lunge, the deeper you go with the lunge, the harder it is kind of on the front quad, into the glutes and all of that. So get a nice big step, okay? Your feet are on those tram tracks, so they're not lined up. That really will be tough to balance. They're about hip width apart, but one's gone straight back, one's gone straight forward, and you've got a nice kind of big stance. Depending on how deep you go, you might want your feet to be a little bit further forward and back, or a little bit narrower in. So just starting from here, bring the back heel up so you're onto the toes. Just start with a little bend, just to get yourself into it. Okay, I'm going to suggest you go into prayer position with the arms, and you're going to twist side to side. So again, the lower body, kind of tummy button down, isn't rotating, it's that upper body that's got the rotation in. Now even in this position where I barely lunged, there's still already a question about my stability here. You can still feel all that movement required to hold this position. So now if you wish to, I'll take my foot a little bit further back, take it a bit lower down. Okay, now this is your choice. You may stay where we started to begin with. You may like to take it a little bit lower. You can probably see I'm wobbling all over the place. That's all good. It's all fine. Okay. And if this is feeling good and you'd like to give it a try, let's get it nice and low. So maybe about an inch, back knee about an inch off the floor. You should be feeling it kicking in the legs. before, you really will now. Okay? Our back quad's working hard, pressing through the front foot. So pressing through the front heel to engage the glute on the front. Okay, how are we doing? Still with me? Okay. I'm going to take those arms wide if you have the space. I'm going to be conscious not to bang my cupboard. There we go. Just one more each side. Oh, release that there. So bring the leg up. It's a bit hard, wasn't it? It's a stretch on the back quad. The quad that was at the back. You hold onto the shoelace area. If you want to grab onto something, do so please. Take the knee down, push the hips forward, standing up nice and tall. Nice and tall. Should be feeling a stretch on this quad. Lovely. Release that down. We're going to do the other side and then we'll stretch the other quad. Be very careful. You do the other side. It will become clear if you forget. Okay. So starting in that quite high lunge position. So I've still got the heel off the floor and kind of gently tucking the hips under. The back knee is a little bit bent, but really not going down too far. Get in that prayer position with the arms, the core is still engaged. I'm working through side to side. So shoulder blades are still back and down. There's quite a nice little twisting stretch. So it's almost a version, the upper part of the body is almost a version of our spine twists, isn't it? Which we wouldn't normally do in this position, but it's the same kind of movement. So it's that rotation around a long spine. Now, if you're feeling good, you're with me, just take it down a little bit. By all means, stick with where you were if that feels better for you. You don't even have to have the lunge, even a step forward and back will put you a little bit out of balance and give you that challenge. Okay, how are we doing? We're still good, we're going to go for it, let's do it. Try and get it about an inch off the floor. So in this position, hopefully you can see my knees roughly speaking behind my hip, underneath, excuse me, the hips. Okay, so the front knee is about a 90-degree angle at the front knee. The front knee is not going in front of the toes, so the body weight is kind of right in between, in that sense, the 2 feet. Not feeling forward or back. The spine is relatively long and tall and central. Okay, and the back knee is roughly below the hips. How are we doing? One more each side. We can do it, we can do it, we can do it. Other one. Yes, 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 release. Okay, let's have a stretch. Oh, I plan these and I don't practice them all the way through. And sometimes it becomes apparent it's harder than I thought. And this is one of those times. That's what makes it fun, right? Okay, the knees are together, push the hips forwards. Nice, and we'll release that there. So we're going to come towards the front of our mats. We're going to do a couple of rolling down, rolling up. So make sure we are nice and warm. So back into that neutral position, engage the core when you're ready. Tilt the chin, heel the spine. Just do have a quick check as you're on the way down. So everything look aligned as it should be, feet pointing roughly forwards. Underneath the hips. Okay, we'll go for one more, and when you get down there, just hold it down for me. So peel it down, peel it down, peel it down. Rest. So let the head hang really heavy. I'll just get my glasses off. Let the head hang heavy. Let the weight of the upper body gently allow the spine to stretch. The core is still engaged, so it's almost tummy button almost drawing up towards the ceiling. Just to support that position of the back. You've got that core contraction, so the elevator inside your body is gently lifting up. If you need to, you can break gently at the knees. We've got a nice little bend there if it's too tight in the hamstrings. But we're just relaxing here. So gaze, hopefully you're looking kind of towards between your legs, maybe between your knees, something like that. The spine is allowed to be long. And when you're ready, we're going to come down onto our back. So if it works for you, bend at the knees, gently come down towards the floor. Okay, and our first move tonight is going to be a single leg stretch. So we'll get ourselves nice and comfy in this floor alignment. If you do normally have a cushion behind your head, you can pop it behind that now. We'll move up into our neutral alignment position. So start with your feet together, heels out, toes out. Okay, your feet, knees and hips should be nicely aligned. Imagine that pencil on the front of the pelvis. It's just going to allow you to draw a line over your body, so over your toes, over your head. Got that really, really nice, smooth, controlled movement of the lower part of the spine. I have to admit, this is one of my favourite things to do. Just feels so nice. Okay. And allowing that to come to settle with a small gap underneath the lower back. Perfect. So that pencil would be pointing straight up towards the ceiling. From here, the ribs are relaxed down towards the floor, the shoulders are relaxed down to the floor. Everything's just quite heavy and floppy. The spine is long, so you're still drawing down at the bottom of the spine, drawing all the way up through to the top of the head. So you've just got those gentle points of contact behind the hips, kind of behind the rib cage and the chest, and behind the head. And otherwise, it's all just heavy and relaxed. Just give your legs a little shake, allow them just to relax out. Okay, let's get rid of the tensions. When you're ready, breathe in, switch on your core, and as you breathe out, just let one leg slide away and bring it back. We're going to do this alternate legs. We're just sliding away, bringing it back. Okay, as we're going, you're not getting any movement in that lower part of the spine. So the hips remain nice and level and controlled. The tummy isn't doming, it's all just nice and smooth and controlled. And that arch in the lower back holds its position. So however if you could have popped one or two fingers underneath it to start with, it's still exactly where you left it. Okay, if this is feeling all quite comfy, as you go, the leg that isn't moving, just imagine you're almost lifting it off the floor. So it's that sensation that I could slip just a piece of paper underneath it. And it wouldn't be too much of a drama. Now, release. If you're suddenly starting to feel tension in the upper body and you're like, oh, I've got to grab on for dear life, just relax, release. Allow those arms, again, to be nice and relaxed, shoulders to relax towards the floor. Okay. And if this is feeling good, instead of sliding the leg, you could extend it away. So just think about on the out breath, you're blowing the leg away. The in breath, bringing that leg back. Fantastic. And if this is still feeling nice and good, you can start in tabletop, so you're still blowing the leg away. So by tabletop, the knees are directly over the hips. You can use the hands as a little bit of a stop if that helps you. Or you can relax them down. But again, this arch in the back hasn't moved. There's no arching into the tummy. Just all relaxed. And if this feels really nice, you'd like to bring the upper body into it as well. Start with everything up and it's opposite arm and leg. So in other circles, you might think of this move as a dead bug, it's also known. But it's that extension and bringing it back. And the shoulder blades are still eased towards the back pockets. There's no tension really in the arms. The hands are just really floppy. The arms are floppy. This is not like a, oh, I'm hanging for dear life and I will never let go. Relax, release. It's all good. It's all fine. So it's that blowing away, extend, breathing it in to come back. How are you feeling? Is that core working? I know my core's definitely going on this one. It's a good one. Lovely. I'll just do one more each side. And it's all good. The arms are down. One leg, two legs. Relax. Okay, let's have a little hip flex release. So bring one leg in towards the body, holding onto the shin. Extend that opposite leg away. Just enjoy the stretch. Lovely. And relax, release that there. I really do enjoy that exercise actually, it's so good. It's ever so good for control control around, especially kind of tummy button downwards. It's hard open the hip flexors, so you're working really, really hard. It's hard in the core to maintain that pelvic position when you've got these big, long, heavy levers moving a long distance. So it's a really good way to control your body. It's also a good way to control your breathing when it's actually really hard. So, hope you didn't go blue and pass out. Again, safety first, keep breathing. But when you're doing it, by bringing in those arms, but really thinking about drawing those shoulder blades down the back, you've got that fantastic control over a very difficult position. It's great, really good. Right, release that. We're going to do some hip rolls. Take the legs a little bit wider than you normally would, maybe about the width of your mat, something like that. If you want to, and you've got the space, you can take your arms wide, you can cactus on them, or have them by your waist, whatever suits. But if you've got the space, it's quite nice to have them wide. And when you're ready, you're just going to windscreen wipe the legs side to side. So we're getting that lovely twist and stretch into the lower part of the spine. We've already had some twisting in the spine already in our warm-up. We did that wonderful screen the light bulb move. So this is really getting more into the lower spine, which we haven't quite got into as much yet today. So letting the legs flop side to side. That's good, that's great. Okay, and the next time they come towards me, take that back leg up and over the top and just extend it over the top. So keep the shoulder blade at the back right down towards the floor. So you've got that wonderful twist and stretch. Fantastic. And if you want to, you can use the hand to gently ease that leg towards the floor. You might not need to, but it might just be nice just to give it a little bit of extra weight. You don't need to hang on to the joint area though, you could hold just above or below the knee joint. Okay, bring that back. You're going to take the legs over to the other side. Try to avoid kicking any furniture. There we go. There we go. And just take it over. What a fabulous little stretch this is. And just relax into it. Really see if you can feel the sensation of where it's stretching for you here, where it feels comfy. Hopefully there's nothing twingy in doing this. Hopefully it's just really, I can feel it right down towards the bottom part of my back. But just get into it. I think Pilates is a wonderful time for you to actually feel your body, actually feel what it is that's working, what it is that's stretching, maybe what it is that doesn't feel great today and that you just need to be mindful of. And that can change day to day, so just because you can or can't do something today doesn't mean that will necessarily always be the case. So just each week, just have a little think, what's working for you today? And release that back. Wonderful. Now we're going to do one of my favourites, a shoulder bridge. Oh my goodness, I love them. Okay, bring the feet in towards the bottom. I get too excited with shoulder bridges, they're so good. Just a small gap between the heels and the bottom. So again, you might just want to rock through the pelvis. So having the feet in does just change that angle potentially at the pelvis. So it's just getting that comfortable position. If you did have a block or a cushion behind your head, if you can get rid of that for me now, that would be fantastic. Starting again with a really relaxed upper body though, the small arch into the lower part of the back. So what I'm going to focus on with this, as well as the mobility in the spine, the strength into the glutes, I really want to focus on the back, oddly enough, and it will all become clear in a moment. So when you're ready, breathe in, switch on that core, as you breathe out, tilt the pelvis. So squeeze the glutes, tilt the pelvis, the lower back falls into the floor, and gently, gently peel up. You don't need to go all the way to start, we're just going to build this up really nice and gradually and slowly. So as you come down, that lower back does touch the floor and then it rolls back to neutral. Doesn't need to go past neutral, but it rolls back through neutral. There we go. So we'll do a few of these to build up. And the sensation is that squeeze the glutes, tilt the pelvis, and then keep firing the glutes. This is a glute dominant move. Temptation is, especially if you do quite a lot of cycling or any of that kind of action, that it turns into the hamstrings working. We're focusing this one into the glutes. And if you can engage them right at the start of the movement, that really helps. The knees push away, you're pressing down into the heels, and the glutes are firing. And if you'd like to, you can pop a little cushion in between your knees if you want to control potential kind of bowing out or bowing in of the knees. You can have something gently held in between them if that helps. A Pilates ball, a cushion, anything like that really. Cat, I don't know, whatever you've got to hand, I suppose. There we go. Right, and if this is all feeling good, if you want to stick with this, by all means stick with this, that's absolutely fine. But if it's feeling good and you would like to bring the back, activate the back into this movement, next time you're at the top, keep here, stick with those glutes. We're going to float the arms over the top, we're going to do chicken wings. So this is one of the rare occasions I'm going to encourage you actually to activate and grab, as though you've got a bar above your head, grab, draw those elbows down towards the waist, and then reach it back up before you peel it down. Now you have options when you do chicken wings. You can follow the normal Pilates style, by all means do if that's your preference, of not kind of really activating those muscles hard. So an alternative, very sensible Pilates alternative might be just to float the arms over, float the elbows down towards the waist and float it back up. But what I think can be quite nice with chicken wings is actually getting that activation of those big muscles across the back, the latissimus dorsi across the back. I'm just going to shimmy down. There we go. I'm getting ready. So, I'll talk you through it again. You get to the top, keep those glutes firing, the hips stay high, glutes working hard. Arms float over. When they get there, grab as though you're grabbing onto a bar and draw it wide and down, and then reach it back up, and then relax them. So it can be quite a challenge sometimes to work those back muscles, especially while we've all been away from gyms. If you tend to go to gyms, there's more opportunities, there's more equipment potentially, if that's your thing, to work your back. Maybe a lat pull down machine, maybe a chin up bar, something of that ilk. But to be fair, it's not as obvious always how you do this kind of movement at home, how you get that activation into the back. And obviously activating the back can be quite important. It's important for your overall strength and kind of your body, musculature and all these good things. However, your back obviously is massively important for your posture. So by being able to keep those back muscles really nice and strong, you're able to maintain that little bit more of a nice straight, or natural curves, I should say, in the upper part of your back. So rather than ending up very hunched, it just gives your body the strength just to hold that straightening kind of, or natural curve of the upper spine. So there are options. You may choose not to have done the arm here. You might just have been going for the mobility in the spine, the working the glutes nice and hard. All of those things are good and laudable and fantastic. It's just that extra nice little kicker, if you can and you like to. Just draw those elbows down and reach it up so you've got that sense of tension. And then it all floats back over beautifully. There we go. One more. How about one more? Let's do it. Okay, when you're ready, so press down the heels, glutes are firing. Peeling the spine bit by bit by bit. Over the top, you've got your nice solid top position. Draw it down, reach it up. And then again, allow this vertebrae to replace onto the mat one by one. And float the arms back over. And relax. Lovely. Let's have a little glute stretch here. So take the ankle over to the opposite knee. Draw that leg in towards the body. Hold behind the leg if you can. If it was a bit too much, you can just press down on the bent leg, so press it away from you. But if you want to bring that opposite leg in, you can extend it up as well if that feels good. nice stretch into the glutes, into the abductors. Awesome. And bring that down, relax it down. Leg down, ankle across. Draw that opposite leg in, and if you want to, extend it up as well. Lovely. Putting in some nice cheeky stretches in between tonight as well, that feels good. It's really nice. Okay, release that down. Okay, and from here we'll bring it down. We're going to come over onto our side. So we're going to go for a clown. So if you do have something like a head cushion, by all means grab it, pop it under your head now. If you don't, you can just pop your arm onto your, pop your head onto your arm if that's comfy. Hopefully that's all right on your shoulder. But I find it quite nice and quite comfortable just to have a little head cushion underneath there. So it's getting you set up into position. Imagine you've fallen off a chair. So the side lying position, the knees are directly in front of the hips, the ankles are stacked, the knees are stacked, the hips are stacked. Push that top hip away so there's a small gap underneath the waist. So you can imagine just like squeezing a straw underneath there. And looking from the side, the spine is level. Okay, that's the idea of supporting the head. It's the idea of pushing the top hip away just to get that level spine position. Okay, we're going to relax into this, so just allow the legs to relax. You don't need to hold any tension. Allow the shoulder blades to draw down the back. When you're ready, let's get that full of mind breathing back. On your next, full of mind breath in. Contract the core, and when you're ready, just take the knees apart. So to start with, you keep the feet together. And the knees apart. It's not going too far apart, 4 to 6 inches. We can go metric if you like, 10 centimetres to 15 centimetres. You don't have to be exactly there, but you know, just a bit of a range. Making sure those hips remain stacked. So avoid that temptation to roll here, to roll the hips back. Just if you want to, use your hand above your top hip and just hold it in position. So actually, my hand at the back, can't really feel any movement going on. It's just behind the hip, can't really feel a lot happening. I can obviously feel it in this outer thigh, and it's that sensation of taking that knees apart. Still keeping that top hip eased away. If you'd like to up the ante a little bit, increase the intensity, take the ankles up. Just going to squeeze and release. And a little addition if you'd like it. As you go up, extend. Bring it back and down, up, extend, bring it back and down. So you've still got kind of that 90 degrees looking from above, still 90 degrees at the knees and the hips. Okay, but you're now bringing in some work into the abductors, holding the leg, still keeping the shoulders relaxed. Oh, I forgot to kick out there, there we go. Easily distracted, honestly, terrible. Keep the hips stacked. Oh my goodness. It's all good, isn't it? It's all good. Like a little glitch in the Matrix. Okay. There we go. Okay, last one here. Bring it back and release. And oh my goodness, if you did that properly, you'll be fit. So release that leg in front, give it a rub, give it a bath. Get the blood flowing again. Yeah. Okay, and from here, we're going to roll up onto all fours. Okay, so I'll just get rid of that headband for a moment. We're going to come up onto all fours and we're going to do a version of swimming. So, I'll just sort myself out. Right, here we go, all fours. Knees under hips, hands under shoulders. The hands are a little bit wider than the knees. I'll take my glasses off or they disappear. Here we go. Nice long spine. So the feet are directly behind the knees. Let's just have a little bit of a play in the lower part of the back. So just a small arching and release and allowing that to come to settle so you have that neutral arch in the lower back. Again, as always, I say screwing the hands, visualise screwing the hands into the floor. The inner part of the elbows points up above your head. It brings those shoulder blades down the back. So there's a nice gap between your ears and your shoulders. Your spine is long. So from here, when you're ready, breathe in, switch on the core, and as you breathe out, instead of extending the leg long, take the leg wide. So it's almost like a dog leg position. And you're going to immediately switch sides. Now, the sensation you'll feel as you do this is you've got this like torsion, so rotation kind of in the body, as you're suddenly trying to control the hips and prevent them tilting. Now, if I don't control it, what you will see, or what you might be experiencing, is this kind of, it drops down from one elbow, and it's just, that's not controlling the movement. So to control, press down in both hands, but there will be one which you need to press hard with. The one where the leg is going out, press down harder to control the movement of the spine. The foot's still floppy, okay? You might not get the leg super high. What I'm aiming to do is to get you to control that the back remains level. Okay, and just to add a little bit onto here, when you're ready, so it's always to breathe out to go to the side, so breathe out and lift, and instead of swapping sides, then extend. Now switch sides. Out to lift, back in, extend. Out to lift, and extend. And the legs come back to being roughly hip width apart, the knees do each time. Okay, now if you would like to increase this a little bit more as well, you're kind of going to mirror it with your arms, but with the opposite arm. If you try and do it with the same arm, you'll fall over. Or maybe you won't, it'll be very impressive. I would fall over. Okay. So, opposite arm wide, opposite arm long. So this is an add-on. But again, it's increasing the lever length, increasing the tension that you have to contain and control with your body. So the hands should be going back from whence they came. Okay, so they should be going back to the shoulder. So back down, back under the shoulder, I should say. So it's wide. And extend. Still controlling that curve in the lower back. Shoulder blades still drawn down the back. There's a lot going on here, isn't there? Bit of a brain game, this one. Okay, out and long. We'll do one more each side. Out and long. Are you able to maintain the position of the back? Out and long. Awesome. Fantastic. Sit back down. Let's have a little stretching child's pose here. So just allow the head, if it's comfy, to drop down onto the mat. You might prefer to kind of have it on your palms, your hands actually. You might just want to pile your hands up and put your head on the back. Or you might be quite comfy allowing the head to come down to the floor. And just try and get your bottom towards your feet if you can. Allow that lower back to release. Okay. Nice. So we're going to pop over onto the other side to do our clown on the other side from here. So I'll just take this across. Here we go. Going back to our side lying position. So again, as though you've fallen off a chair, ankles, knees and hips are stacked. The arm is, however, underneath, however you can have it comfy. And the top arm, again, wherever it's comfy. Really, in this move, it's not a big player, the arms. Okay, so pushing the top hip away, spine is long, shoulder blades relaxed down the back. When you're ready, breathe in, switch on the core. As you breathe out, open and close, open and close. And I do actually like this idea of having the hand on the top of the hip here, just gently behind it. It just does stop you from that rocking movement. So you should really be engaging this outer thigh. So we've got that little gap under the waist. And we had those options from before, so you can lift the ankles if you wish. That was one level of addition. If you wish to add another level, as you take the knees apart, extend, bring it back. And as with all things Pilates, if you need to take a break, it's fine. I don't even know, they should tell me. That's fine. So really feeling it on the outer part of the leg. Open, extend. But you're not really tensing that leg, so it's not a kind of pointy ballet. Oh my goodness, relax it. Relax it, the foot's relaxed, the calf's relaxed, it's all nice and kind of wobbly and a bit floppy. That's where it should be. Working the outer thigh, working the quad a little bit to extend the leg. Otherwise, it's actually quite a lot of relaxation for the rest of the body here. Still controlling the core, still controlling that hip position, still pushing the top hip away. Just a couple more. Last one. Okay, release it here. Relax. Now I'm going to sneak a cheeky, really short and sweet plank in here. Let's go back over onto all fours. I should say a leg pull prone, but we all know what I mean. I mean a cheeky plank. Here we go. Right. Getting that neutral position. If it's comfy for you to do so, extend those legs so that you've got a longer position, your straight line all the way down to the knees. Tuck the toes if it's comfy. Got a neutral spine. When you're ready, breathe in, switch on the core, and as you breathe out, just bring those knees up and bring them down. We'll do a few of these. Okay, so we're going to build just a few in. Okay. So you've got that core control, the shoulder blades are drawn down the back, hands are screwed into the floor. And this next one we're going to hold, and this is the only one we're going to hold it, okay? So just keeping the position long, the core is controlled. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring those knees down. Lovely. Come into all fours. We're going to do just a couple of rounds of cat and cow. Because we're pretty much done. We're just having a stretch now. So shoulder blades up towards the ceiling, head drops down. And the opposite direction. Tummy down, head up. Rolling through. You see, that was such a short little sneaky plank. You didn't even notice. It was all good. Sneaked in there. Brilliant. It's so good for your core. So much strength involved there. If ever on a plank move though, if there's ever kind of twinges into your lower back, anything like that, just release it. Just bring the knees down, come into all fours if you need to, down into child's pose. Okay, and relax that there. We're going to have a sneaky hip flexor stretch. Take that leg forwards. So I've kind of overstepped. I couldn't do 90 degrees at both. But I sort of step that front leg a little bit further forwards, pushing the hips down and forwards. Just getting a nice stretch down the hip flexor. Got options here if you want to open out the chest while we're here. So the hands are open. You might choose to look up. Just stretching through the front of the body, through the chest. And release that. Push the hips back and down. Extend that front leg. If you want to use the hands on the floor just to hold the body weight, give you a little bit of balance. But straighten out that front leg and push the bum back and down. You're stretching through the hamstrings and the back of the leg. Lovely. This is so good. Love the combination. Hip flexor, stretch, hamstrings. It's so good. And release that. So swing that leg round so that it comes back. You're going to go on the opposite side. So we'll start with the hip flex. You've got that overstep forwards. Push the front knee forwards, but it's not coming as far as the toes. But you're pushing the hips down and back. And this time, if you wish to, you can stretch up and wide. So really taking it through the front of the body. Lovely. Aim is to get that hip flexor to push the hip down and forwards. It's a beautiful stretch. And then we'll go into the hamstring. So again, push the body weight backwards, straighten out through the leg. You can bring the toes up if you'd like to. But easing the body weight forwards. Keeping the spine relatively straight actually, so I'm not collapsing the spine into it. I'm pushing the chest down and forwards without collapsing the spine down. But it's the bottom going back and down which really catching these hamstrings. Okay, release that, swing that leg back round. Tuck the toes, gently push the body weight backwards, straightening up through the legs first, rolling up, curling up through the spine. Lovely, we're just going to have a couple of nice big breaths. Well, thank you so much for joining me again. I do hope you enjoyed it. Give me a like, give me a share, whatever you want, send me a message. I love it all, it's fantastic to hear from you and know that you're all still getting on okay, and we look forward to seeing you again properly soon. Otherwise, I will see you right here next Monday. Have a fantastic week. Okay, bye bye.